Hey everybody, it's the Candid Camper, and this is the Candid Camper's theme park thoughts. And today we got Mr. Webba from Webba Vision, part of the OG55 crew, and he's joining me on our first ever episode. Mr. Webba, thanks for joining us today.
Gannon, thank you so much for having me on. This is on your first ever episode. This is awesome, and I love your background. That's sick, dude. And it's orange.
It's orange. How did we get orange? How did we get orange? We get castles, we got dragons, and we got roller coasters. I don't know. Whoever designed this is one smart cookie.
I guess absolutely. Well, Ken, thank you so much for having me. I mean, I cannot wait to talk to you today about theme parks.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited too. This has been a passion of mine for a long time. For y'all that are just following me or seeing this for the first time, I've been on OG55s quite a bit. Worked with Mr.Webba quite a bit too. And George, all of them, they're just amazing. So go follow them. I'm gonna leave all their links in the bottom down below. But yeah, they're the ones that kind of like got me into this, especially during the unforeseen like 2020 realm. That's when I started like working from home and really getting into YouTube a lot deeper. And I shit you not, I would work for 8 hours from home and I would just have Disneyland roller coaster rides just playing nonstop, or OG's channel just playing nonstop, watching all of his episodes. I've binge watched OG55 from episode 1 all the way to the end, when he used to have the shitty ass headphones and the shitty mic. Like that's how far back we go. But he inspired me. Then one day I reached out to them and reached out to George actually, and I told George like, "Yo, what up, dude? Like, I want to talk about some Disney with you guys." And then I asked him about going to the theme parks, because I was going to go to the theme parks, and they invited me on. And ever since then, it was like literally magic. And we worked together a few times. But now it's my turn to have my theme park channel, my own theme park thoughts. And what I'm bringing to you guys is going to be a little bit of what you already kind of see around YouTube, but it's also going to be different because I am an open book. I'm going to tell you how I feel about things, and it's an open forum. Like, you already heard me say the F word probably a few times. Like, this isn't your typical Disney talk. Like, I'm not at the parks waving a wand and getting everything for free. No, we're here to tell you how I really feel. He knows. We're here to tell you how we really feel and give you real life scenarios and tell you like, yeah, that churro sucks ass. Don't buy the churro. I'm not going to tell you the churro is good because they're paying me to tell you the churro is good. So I hope you guys are here for a long ride. And once again, Webba, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Oh, and also I also want to bring up too is that I believe like that you're one of the few people in the community, really, especially for Disney, who actually have like a family, right? You're a father, and that also brings a very different perspective amongst like the Disney adults, right? Who go to the park, they're like just couples or solos, So it's very very cool, man. I'm really glad you're gonna bring that new perspective, that candid camper perspective to the theme park discussion. So it's gonna be awesome.
I love it. Yeah, the bad dad. TheCandicamper, the bad dad. No, I love my children, and dude, you're right. Like, having children and pre-children, and to having like 80 children now, the experience is so much different, but it's also so much better. And we'll get into that in some future episodes, which I'll definitely have you on. But today we're going to talk about what we would change about Disneyland and what we wouldn't change about Disneyland. I just switched it up on you a little bit. Sorry. I'm going with the flow right now. So we're going to go with that. And then after we do that, we're going to pick our top 5 favorite rides. And we're going to kind of tell you a little bit of why they're our favorites. And we'll also give you an honorable mention. Mr. Webb, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Right, let's do it. All right. First up for you, what would you change in Disneyland theme park?
Overall, or just one thing?
Oh, overall. Like, what would be one thing that you're like, okay, I want to change this?
So I would say, okay, so let me put it like this. In terms of, let's say, one attraction, I would change Jungle Cruise into Jungle Book, right? Because here's the thing. If we're going all IP based route, and I know like that we will lose some like originality here. I know like the old school fan base, they love the original stuff. Honestly, Jungle Cruise is not that thrilling to me. I mean, it doesn't have to be thrilling, but it's not very interesting, right? I mean, we have these really fake, old-looking animals. We have better audio animatronics. Why aren't they in there? So it's just not very fun to me. And there's only so many times you can hear the same corny jokes. I'm sorry. That's how I feel.
Hot take right now.
Yeah, and hot take. You know, so I would love to see like a cool Jungle Book ride, right, with an up to date audio animatronics. You're going through like the story of Jungle Book, but hey, maybe add some like waterfalls in there, kind of like pirates or something.
Yeah.
And then also something else I would change. Pretty much all of Tomorrowland except Space Mountain. I would reutilize the theater that's by Space Mountain. I would get rid of Autopia, get rid of the subs. I would utilize that space for a whole new area, maybe Frozen or something. And then I would also get rid of the Fantasyland Theater area by that place. I'm someone, if it's not being used, why is it there? So that's to me.
Especially when Disney wants to make money and they need capacity, and they're having because they have capacity issues. Why are you letting this theater sit there and not putting something there? Because that was a people eater too. Like, you need people eaters in that park.
Yeah, it is. But also, what I don't understand is that why is it outside, right? I know they have those tarp things, but sometimes it gets really hot. Or if it rains, and that's a pre-show cannon. I was telling you, that's why I love the Country Bears. Not only because I thought the bears were cute and they were cool, the songs were great, but if it was raining or if it was really, really hot, you had shelter from the elements. There was more bodies going in there. And now we don't really have that here at the Disneyland Resort, actually. So I would get rid of that, either put a new attraction or a whole new indoor type of like show, probably, but make it consistent and always have something in there, right? Don't have this on and off. So those are the main things I would probably change. Maybe add a little piece of Galaxy's Edge. But other than that, like I was telling you, Canada, to me, Disneyland, besides those things I mentioned, is pretty much a perfect park.
Yeah, and it holds the test of time for sure. Like, I mean, being made back in the day and still having the same amount of ambition and people still showing up to the park. And like you said earlier, Disney adults, like, these people are growing up and they still can go back and feel like they haven't grown up. You don't get that at a lot of other places. I mean, there's still big theme parks out there that are in the same game, but they're not having that nostalgia. No one has the nostalgia like Disney does. And that's why I think it would be really difficult to remove a lot of that stuff. And the stuff you mentioned that you would change are the things that need to be changed because they're not being utilized, or they're old ride systems. And a perfect example is Tomorrowland. Like you said, what do you do in Tomorrowland? You run to Space Mountain and then you hightail your ass all the way back to the other side to go hit Indiana Jones or everything else on that side of the park. And that's the big issue with Disney right now, is that there's no cohesiveness, or there's no way to keep people on that side of the park unless you're going to Toontown. And and that's just a recent thing because they put that put Mickey and Minnie's in there, and otherwise everyone's congregated on one side of the park. So I think it's almost time that we need to just really sit down and do Tomorrowland. But we haven't heard anything about that. There's no future of that at all. And it's kind of sad because I think we needed that more than Avatar. Fuck, I would have been okay with Avatar going over there if it meant we're going to get something new in the park that was actually worthwhile.
Yeah, well, I think the reason why we're getting Pandora and that stuff first is because when you look at DCA, to me it's below Disneyland, and I think it will always will be that way. But if we can get it as close to quality of the attractions, the shows, and stuff like that to Disneyland, because it's literally like feet apart from that Disneyland park.
Yeah.
So let's get it as close to quality as we can to Disneyland, right?
Make it worth it.
Yeah, yes, make it worth it. Make that single day ticket admission worth it to go there, right? Be like, hey, I'm going to go to DCA today. I'm going to have a good time, right?
Yep.
I'm not saying that park at all, no. But is the price of a single day admission ticket worth it to DCA? I don't think so.
No, and that brings up a good point because I've been to Disneyland 2-3 times now, and over the last couple of years, and I have not been in DCA. I haven't been in DCA since they've built Spider-Man. And
really?
that whole down. Yes. That's how, like, it doesn't make sense for me to buy a hopper pass for all my kids and my family to go into a park where I'm gonna have to stand in a long ass line for cars, and then they're too small to go on the Tower or on Guardians of the Galaxy. So what am I gonna do? Go get wet 400 times? There needs to be something more. So I totally agree, but that's going to be for another episode too. I'm telling you guys, we have so much to talk about, and I don't want to veer too far off track because that's what I do, and you'll start seeing that a little bit. But I do want to talk about DCA probably in our next episode, and I'll probably have you on to do that too. So let's go back to it. What would you keep? Like, what's an absolute keep? Like, you can never touch it.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of reverse course here, right? So everything I said for that I would get rid of, everything else I would keep. No, literally,
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's one more thing. I would get rid of poo. So, yeah. So
You secretly hate poo.
No. Here's the I love poo. I love the characters. Just the ride is just meh. It's such a meh attraction. And to get rid of that, I mean, to get rid of Country Bears for that was blasphemy. But
Yeah.
I would keep, the Splash Mountain Tiana's thing, right? I would keep Haunted Mansion, Pirates, Indiana Jones for sure. I would keep Tiki Room. I would keep everything in Fantasyland. I would keep those rides until I would die. Like all those rides will stay there as they are. Toontown, I love the newer edition of renovation of Toontown. I think it's fantastic. So I would keep everything there. It's a small world. It's a classic. It has a great impactful meeting. I would keep that. Matterhorn. I mean, come on, it's a Matterhorn. You got the Yeti in there,
Let me can I get a quick one on the Matterhorn?
Yeah.
How would you feel if they were like if Daddy Josh, he was like, "Hey, Mr.Webba, guess what I'm gonna do tomorrow?" And you're like, "What up, Daddy?" You're I feel like that's how you have to talk to him, right? That's how you have to talk to him. "What up, Daddy?" And he's like, "Webba, I'm gonna take out the first original tubular track ever created in the world, and we're gonna put in brand new track system that's not gonna make you bite your tongue off. You're not gonna get whiplash, and you'll be able to see your children get off and not have spina bifida or whatever it's fucking called." Yeah. What would you say to that? Would you be against him changing the track? Because remember, this is the first tubular steel roller coaster in the world.
So here's the thing, right? Is that I'm never really I say okay. A lot of fans in the community are very much about they hold on to the past, right? And I get that, right? Because there's a lot of old, like I said, a lot of Fantasyland. I said I will keep there until I die, right?
Yeah.
However, I'm not opposed to change if it means there's something better on the horizon, right? So I need something that's equally on par or better than what was there before. So if we get a whole new track system, great. We're in a modern era. Give us new tracks that's going to be a smoother ride system, and then maybe more people would actually ride it because now like their back isn't breaking, they're not getting whiplash on it.
I don't ride it anymore because I can't. I will literally not be able to ride anything else for the rest of the day because of that. And then I won't be able to drive home for 6 hours because my back's fucked.
Right. Yes. Exactly. And even for me, right? I'm a small dude. So, and even for me, it like shakes me around like crazy. It's still fun, but I can see other people who are even taller. Like, Andy, you're tall, right? Taller, their knees go up to like their chest and everything.
Yeah.
It's just if we had a much better, smoother track, I'm all for it. I mean, there's no reason to keep something that is inefficient and that's just really causing discomfort to the guests, right? So.
Yeah, and I do love how many trains go on that ride, though. I feel like they do a great job at, really moving through people because that line gets pretty wild and long, but they move through people pretty quickly, and even you can see them just jamming. Like, all right, come on, get in, have a fucking wonderful ride, and they send the next one up. It's great. So, we kind of talked about that. I cut you off earlier. I'm sorry. What else were you gonna say? What else would you keep?
Oh yeah, so I would just keep so I would keep Space Mountain, and then I would keep the Disneyland Railroad. I would keep Tom Sawyer's Island. I would keep the river boats. Yes. Okay. Yes. Cool, because I love Phantasm too. Like Phantasm is amazing. The Rivers of America that goes with that is fantastic. The Mark Twain, the Columbia. I mean, come on, we have a pirate ship. Come on, that's dope.
We have a pirate ship. Yep.
I canoes. That's actually pretty. If you guys haven't done canoes, it's pretty fun. Go on it. Your arm does hurt, but it's actually cool being like
canoes. The only ride in Disneyland I've never ridden. I've ridden every single working attraction in Disneyland except for the canoes.
You should try it, man. You should try it. And also, it's cool.
I'm not here to work out. Yeah, and then everyone else isn't fucking rowing. It's gonna be me by myself, and then I'm very competitive, even though there's nothing to be competitive about. So I need to make it wherever I'm supposed to make it. So I will be the fucking guy to do that, and then I'm gonna get off. My arms all fucking dangling and shit. I'm good. I already know how this is gonna go.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my god. But I would keep. I mean, pretty much. They're saying Galaxy's Edge is what it is right now, right? There,
Yeah.
we're getting the updated Smuggler's Run. That's great. So if that's fantastic, I would keep it. I'll keep Rise. I'll keep Thunder Mountain. Again, everything else besides the things I said I want gone, I'm keeping.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah, because like I said, I think pretty much Disneyland in itself is a perfect park, and even if not being a perfect park in its current state, if you said, "Hey, we're never changing anything ever again in this park," I would personally be like, "Okay, I'm content with that." Like, I'm not going to be pissed off or upset. I'm like, "Okay, I love how it is the way it is now. I've been going there since I was 4 years old. There's no problem for me." So
that's fair. I get it. I have different outlook, a different view than you do. And it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
I know. It's okay. It's okay. So we start off with what I don't like or what I would remove.
Mhm.
I agree with you. Tomorrowland needs a rehaul. Keep Space Mountain. I wouldn't mind seeing an upgrade to Space Mountain, kind of like what they did with like the Ghost Galaxy or the Star Wars stuff. I think that's awesome. And I'm not telling you to like overhaul, like completely rip everything out and rebuild it. I want to keep it out as. Don't give me no Jules Verne bullshit color scheme again. Like, don't do that to me. But find an IP that can really work in there. Like, if you really went the whole Space Mountain or what's his name, like Buzz Lightyear, you could go the Buzz Lightyear route. Turn all those into little buzz cars. Have it go around the galaxy still, and just have the flying saucers or the aliens and shit. Like, you could totally do something theme wise like that. So
yeah.
I'm okay. This is weird because if you watch past videos, I am totally against IPing everything. But this is one of those where I think you can put an IP into that ride and everyone would be okay as long as you don't change the actual ride itself.
Right.
So what do you think? What do you think of that?
Yeah, well, yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Buzz Lightyear wasn't really in my mind for that.
No, that was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah. Here's the thing. However, I'm always one who says execution is key, right? Whatever the ride is, execution is key. If you have great story, great music, a fun ride, it makes sense, I'm all for it, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't and it comes out sucky, then I'm be like, this sucks.
Yep.
So
and that's kind of the hard part is that you only have so many space movies that actually did well. Like we're not gonna put fucking Meet the Robinsons in there or Brave Little Toaster. That's old school. But I mean, you could somehow fit Stitch in there if you really wanted to. Because he has that whole flying scene in the movie or the not the live action. But I don't know, just do something different out there. But going back to it, ripping from there all the way down, get rid of it, get rid of the lagoons, and get rid of the fucking cars. We don't need those bullshit. My kids smell like fucking diesel for half the day. Like, like what are you doing? I feel so bad for the cast member that has to work that ride. They're going to unalive early because of the fucking fumes they're snorting up. So sorry.
yeah.
That's so bad for you. And then the next thing, should I say it? You're gonna get mad at me?
Do it.
I say you keep going. You keep going. You jump past that little fucking that what's that little shop right there? The one that gets the chimichangas. You know what I'm talking about, little chimichanga. Just keep going past the chimichangas and you know what's sitting right there, don't you? You got It's a Small World. Fucking done. Done. I'm so done with this ride. And this is where the nostalgia factor sits so hard with the Disney community. And by the way, for y'all that don't know me, I am a huge Disney nerd. I've been to Disneyland hundred and something times, maybe thousands of times. I've had a season pass. I live in California. This is my home park. I don't live down the street, so I have to take my drives. So I can say this. That ride is overrated. It looks like shit. The roof is caving in on itself. It has like fucking dookie stains on it. And the one in Disney World is superior. I will say that too. The only thing the only thing that Disney World does not have on it is that beautiful, gorgeous facade. I will give it to Disneyland. That facade is amazing. And going there during the holiday times when they dress it up for Christmas, it is beautiful. I would never want that part to go away. But as much show building that you have behind there, dude, You know what you can do with that's like that's a whole nother land of its own with just that show building. And then having that other side, I would sacrifice it. And then, like you said too, now you're almost making a curve like this all the way around because now you get to the theater. That theater can go too. So now you have this big curve that's a whole land. And this is the second part of my hot take. And you guys, I love this because now I'm telling you, I get to talk how I want to talk on here. It's my channel.
Oh,
I'm having fun. Star Wars Land. We didn't, I said this 1,000 times. I said on OG's channel, we didn't need a full Star Wars Land. It didn't need to have two. We're putting two on both sides. No, give me a reason to go to Disney World. Make me have a reason why I need to go there. You have all the land in the world to make that what it is. Then you brought it here and you took up, was it 16 acres or 18 acres, whatever it is, of Disneyland to put two rides in and a restaurant and a small ass cantina that you can't even get into because there's only 5 fucking seats. You used all that land that they had left to do that. Fuck you. All you had to do was give me Oga's Cantina. You could have gave me the Ronto Raptor wrap place, whatever it is. I can't remember what it's called. You could have gave me the milk, and you could have gave me the Rise of the Resistant ride, and that would have been that little corner all the way on the left side, how it is now if you're facing it. And then you would have that whole other side, and guess what? That could have been a Fantasyland expansion like they did in Disney World. And you could have gave me full-on rides there. You could have gave me a couple more dark rides, and it would have been perfect. But no, we wanted to fucking waste money because they didn't want to do any more R&D on anything new, and we couldn't take anything else from the Japanese parks because they fucking patent all our people or all of our characters. So that's that. Besides that, I love everything else too. I wouldn't get rid of anything except for Tom Sawyer's Island. I'm after seeing the concept art for Florida, I'm okay with it now. Before I wasn't. I was like, yeah, don't fucking touch it. I'm the only people. I love going on Tom Sawyer Island because that's where you can get away from people. Like if it's the park's busy, you can guarantee like if you want to just have a quiet time. I loved having my like little zen moments of life sometimes, especially when it's so chaotic. You can always go to Tom Sawyer's Island and just chill in a cave or chill on the fucking rope bridge or even chill in the bathroom. That has the best bathroom in the park. So that's the only reason I wouldn't get rid of it. But if they're going to give me something like Cars and expand Frontierland, I would go for it. I'm okay with that.
Well, here's the thing though. Why get rid of our Rivers of America if you could just get rid of Galaxy's Edge and expand Frontierland that way?
Because I still think Disneyland needs a Star Wars presence now that it's there. And you know, this is hypotheticals too, so we technically could just take that out, like Star Wars Land, and be fine with it. But I wouldn't want to do that. I would, like I said, I would want to keep that half with Smuggler's Run, or not Smuggler's Run. I want to take the Smuggler's Run half out and have that as an expansion. You know what I really wish? I really wish we had more room in Adventureland. I think if I feel so bad for Adventureland.
Well, no, because Cannon, check this out, right? For as small as Adventureland has, what does it have?
Most rides.
Well, yeah, it has Indiana Jones, Jungle Cruise, the Tiki Room, Bengal Barbecue, that other restaurant, that new restaurant, like
what's it called? Terrace something or I can't remember.
That.
That place is really cool, by the way.
Yes, and then also you have the treehouse.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And plus also the bathroom in the shop and the retail shop. So for a little land, you have a lot in there actually.
Dole Whip. Don't forget the Dole Whip.
And Dole Whip, yes, and Dole Whip. So like that little land, as small as it is, it packs a punch.
Yeah, you know, that's true. That's true. I just wish it was bigger because I think Adventureland is one of my favorite lands. So I would always love to see more there. I think, and that's what it kind of comes down to. Go ahead.
I think that's where Jungle Cruise, like my thing with Jungle Cruise is because that ride takes up so much space. Like space. I thought it takes up so much real estate. It's like we can have something better here. Portion.
And that's going to be another section on this channel too. This is like the first thing I told OG 55 and all them back in the day when we were supposed to do a little merge, is that I wanted to do a whole front to back what you would change in a park and what you would put in there, like almost like we're armchairs or Imagineering, like Blue Sky. What would we put into those places? So we're going to do that still on this channel in a couple future episodes, and we'll do it land by land. So hopefully you'll join me on that one too. But going back to what I was going to say, I would leave that. What I would never change is Indiana Jones. Can't do it. Maybe if you give me only thing I would say is give me an updated car. Like just give me something that's a little more up to date, but still keep the same style, but just make it more seamless and less jerky. It's starting to show its age just a little bit. I wouldn't change. I actually really enjoy Toontown. I'm glad that they kept that around. I like Toontown a lot. And then also I would keep. I'd keep Frontierland. I feel like Frontierland gets no love just because it's the one ride and it's just like it's the crossway to get to other places. Even though it's not the central hub, it still almost feels like its own hub of its own. And I try to make it a point to go into the shops right there, and I go into the pin traders and still look around, and I really enjoy it. And it just feels old school still, and I love that. I think it needs more love.
Yeah, I mean, I miss. Sorry, Ken. I know you're doing
good.
I wish they would have kept. What was it? Big Thunder Ranch Barbecue or something?
Yeah, I've actually never. I've been there and I've never eaten there. There used to be like a animal petting zoo, right?
Yeah. It was like goats and stuff like that, like a little like petting zoo that they used to have there. And then I remember one time I was a kid, they actually had like a hunchback stunt show or something like back there, and
really?
I don't remember. Because I was like sitting on the ground, my butt was burning, it was hot, and I couldn't even see because of the stuff, dude. But yeah, I remember.
I love it. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. Hunchback, dude. Hunchback gets no love. It gets no love. I feel bad for Hunchback. Tangled gets no love, and Tangled's like one of the best-selling like movies of this generation of princesses. All right, so. This is going to bring us into the final topic of the night. Let's talk about our top 5 favorite rides. In order, by the way. In order. Mike, you're up first. Do you want to do 1 and 1? We'll both go our 5, and we'll go down from there, back to back?
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. Go first.
All right, man. Of course, my number 1, and it has always been...
Number 5. Start with 5.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going backwards. Yeah, we're going backwards. Yeah.
Okay. Going backwards, my number 5 is. Sorry, one sec. My number 5 is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Whoa.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So again, it's on my top 5 because it is one of my favorites at the park, right? However, this ride can make me sleepy at times, and that's why I have it there, because I like to be in the moment, in the present, and sometimes when you're in those dark caverns, it's nice. I love it, but then I get tired, and I'm like starting to fall asleep, and I don't like that. That's not the ride's fault. That's just kind of like a me personal issue, And then what do you call it? But it's number 5 because there's a lot of combinations in this ride. There's some thrill with the 2 drops. However, I do wish that the second drop was somewhere like more in the middle of the attraction than like the first straight 2, because you have the bayou, which is nice. Go past the restaurant, you have the first drop, awesome. Then you have the other second little one, right? I wish to kind of spread out the thrill more. The second drop was placed somewhere more in the middle, maybe like in the other like further down cavernous sections.
Yeah.
But other than that, the original Pirates of the Caribbean was fantastic, right? But this one is still fantastic. I do miss the old red, so Pirates gets the demon for that. The redhead. Pirates.
Yeah.
That, man. And also I'm sorry, I have to ding Pirates on this too, where you have the women all chasing the pirates. Because of. I'm like, no.
Which is kind of weird, because how is it okay for that now that they're chasing? Now you just flip the script. It's still the same thing. Like
exactly.
Now they're still chasing. Well, they're gonna be like, oh, they're chasing them with weapons. Well, I mean, a breadstick could be a weapon. That shit looks stale. It's been there since like what, 50s or 60s. Come on.
Yeah, no, exactly. But overall, Pirates of the Caribbean has one of the most iconic, Disney soundtracks and music pieces, right? It's awesome. I love it. The attention to detail in the attraction is awesome. Like, it looks like you're in a real cave. The audio animatronics are fantastic. The theming, the smell of Pirates of the Caribbean is I love it. You're like, this is Pirates of the Caribbean, It's so cool. And then I love the parrot at the end of the ride when he's like, yeah,
Yep.
you know, I love that. It's just that kind of attention to detail and everything is just awesome. I remember as a kid, Candid, like back when you're like that kind of shipwrecked area where you get stopped all the time at the
Oh
end.
yeah, yeah. With the fire
Yeah, like
or
yeah,
the yeah,
all the hanging like debris and stuff.
yeah,
I was afraid like that stuff would fall on us, dude. But that's what I love about Disney. They make stuff so realistic, you know, that something
yeah,
could happen. You could be in potential danger, but you're not, you know. But it's a fantastic ride. But because of number 5, I mean, because of the stuff I mentioned, it's number 5. The change in the redhead, which was whack. The women chasing the pirates, and then just the constant like weird stuff like having Blackbeard and then Davy Jones like
yeah,
in it.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't like it. I'm the fan I love the original Pirates of the Caribbean. Again,
Yep.
I'm fine with
The one from
change,
when you're a
but
kid.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You know, I love that take on that because I was a little appalled that it was so low on your list. But what you just said makes a lot of sense, and it actually makes me really kind of question things a little bit. And you're right because some of those things you mentioned, I've said a lot of the time, like, why the fuck do they change that, and why does Disney care so much about certain things that they shouldn't care about?
Yeah.
Um, Especially because everyone and their mom's like, oh well, Walt wouldn't want this, Walt wouldn't want that, and they go and do it anyway, especially to something that was so cherished and loved. And that new redhead, she ain't all that. She ain't a
No,
bag of chips. No, not
no.
even. And she has like a Scottish accent. Weird.
Well,
It's a weird. And she doesn't look right. She looks way too new.
no. Here's the thing. Not only does she look not only does she not look right, why does she look different? Like, okay, like the
Yes.
redhead you see in the original attraction, yeah, she's all dolled up and stuff, but even the face looks different. Why does she look like a different person? I don't
Yeah, they
understand.
should have made her exactly the same, but just a newer version. And, and,
Yeah,
and her standing right next to the auctioneer, it just looks so off. It's not
it
good.
does. It does. Oh, and there's the other one. Who is the voice that voiced the auctioneer pirate? Like, didn't they change out the voice for him too?
Oh, I didn't know that. Did they?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I
I think
love that. I love that one line where they auction off the bigger one, and then
yes.
the other pirates. What did it? How fuck? What did it go? Um, oh man, was it like, do we buy her by the pound or something like that?
Oh, yeah. What was it when he says like show them like your larboard side or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Then the other one's like, oh, we buy her by the pound or something, and I don't know, but I think that scene's amazing, and for them to change that, it just kind of, I get I get why they did it, but they're fucking pirates. What the
Oh,
fuck you think they're gonna do? They're gonna take your plunder and your booty.
yes. Okay. So right here, Ken, it says the voice actor for the let's see the wench auction scene in Disneyland Pirates of the Caribbean was updated to remove the element of women being sold, and the redhead character was a recast and given a new role. But yeah, I could have sworn that was it? Sorry, Ken. Keep going. I'll try to look this up.
Cool. Okay, and I had to look it up too. So he says, "Hey, are you selling her by the pound?" Because it was the bigger chick in the blue dress.
Oh yes, her in the back, the big chick.
Yeah, yeah. And then the pirates said, "Are you selling her by the pound?" It's fucked
Oh,
up.
okay. Yeah, here we go. In
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, the voice actor from the auctioneer changed from Paul Frees. Okay, yes, Paul Frees to
I'll
Kif.
freeze.
I'm not sure how to say his name. But it changed to Kif. I'll call him Kif V. But yeah, I mean, you can tell because Paul Frees also, I believe
He's
he does.
iconic.
Yes, iconic. And he does the voice too in Haunted Mansion. And again, that's another
He
thing
was
on Pirates. They changed the voice.
wasn't he like, didn't he do like Frosty the Snowman and stuff too?
Did he? Oh, I
Or
have no idea.
like those old like the old Frosty movies. I believe that was him.
Well,
I'll
I
have to
have
look it up.
no idea, honestly. But
Yeah, I love that. I think you're onto something there, and I think we could have a whole nother video on some of that shit too. We'll get into it. Um, my number 5 is kind of weird and shocking too, but I don't think it's as shocking to some, especially for a lot of Disney goers. My number 5 is the railroad. And that's why I remember asking you earlier if the railroad counts as an attraction, which it does. Same with the monorail, like you said. Um, I love the railroad. I make it a point to ride the railroad all the way around at least twice. I like to do it during the daytime, and then I'll do it once at night. I love riding that thing at night. It's one of my favorite things to do at night. And then now having kids, it's cool because we can just chill. Like it's our chill time. We get to all sit down. I know they tell you no drinks and food on there, but we'll still kind of sneak a snack, and the kids will just sit there and kind of just eat their snack and look out the one way, and it's just really nice. And it eats up enough time, and you can get off wherever you want to get off at. Like if the kids want to ride a certain ride and we don't feel like walking all the way over there because we've already walked 20 miles, you can just jump on the train and get there. The other part is that trains are kind of a dying breed. Like I know there's still a lot of trains in the world, but like it's not every day you get to ride a full on like actual real locomotive, and then to do it in Disneyland where you're surrounded by the whole park and you get to see all the backstage stuff. You get to see some of the rides. And they have some show scenes there too. I just think it's really just not something you normally would get, and that just shows what Disney does and how Disney shows magic in every single attraction, even if it's a shitty attraction. Like I'm not going to say a name, but if it's a shitty attraction, there's still some kind of magical element to it. And yes, the train could be better. There could be more scenes, more updated show scenes. There's some areas where you go backstage and it looks like shit and just dirty, but you're still on this beautiful train, and the whole story behind the train and Walt, acquiring it, and then some of the Main Street station. Like the Main Street station's beautiful. If you ever walked in there and just actually like looked around, I
It's
feel like
nice.
that just goes under, like people underlook things or overlook things, and that's just one of the things I feel like people overlook.
Yeah, no, dude, I agree with you. Here's the thing. Stuff like the Disneyland Railroad, I don't go on it all the time, and especially just because the line is always super long. Like you go up to the one by Haunted Mansion, and that line is just like all the way down the
Oh,
stairs,
dude.
right? I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm not waiting in that. But I will say, the railroad is fantastic. It's great. Like if your feet are hurting, you just want to sit down, dude. You
Yep.
can sit down on that train and ride it on all day. Like they don't tell you to get off. You can sit down all day if you want to.
Yep.
And to your point about backstage too, Kenneth, is what's great about it is that it gives you, at least this is how I see it, it gives you enough kind of backstage behind the scenes, but not too much to leave you wanting to see more.
That's very
And
true.
and also I don't know if you noticed this too, but there's certain smells you get on the train, like from like the
Really?
railroad. Yeah, like either whether it's the train or like the backstage stuff, like when you're going through
Oh,
the,
okay. Yeah,
there's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, like, it's like this Disney tunnel smell or something. I love it, dude. It's like
Disney
it's
tunnel smell.
or something.
All you candle people out there, I'm not sponsored yet by candles, but once we get sponsored by candles, it's gonna be Disney tunnel smell. It's gonna be my candle. It's gonna have. You're gonna save 10% on that code.
Yes, yes. But dude, my favorite part. I have two favorite parts on that on the train. No, three. My first favorite part is when you pass when you pass Hungry Bear and you're
Yeah.
going around the river. That whole scene when you're
Oh,
looking out,
dude, so
beautiful.
cool. Love it. 'Cause you
And
don't get to see that from the other side unless you ride either you're on the Mark Twain or
yeah,
Columbia or the boat, or not the boat, the train. Only
yes,
time you
the
get to
train,
see that stuff.
exactly. My second favorite part, and this is also why I love It's a Small World too, is because that section between Matterhorn and like the teacups and Small World, I really love that section. It's like a nice blend of the music and the atmosphere. But when you're on the train going past by it, you see like the mountain in the background. You
Yeah.
see like just everything there. It's an awesome sight. And then my third favorite part is I love dinosaurs, always have as a kid, is
Yep.
when you go to the prehistoric era, right? You know, you
Yeah.
got Grand Canyon,
Yep.
and then you got the dinosaurs and the T-Rex. Oh, dude, it is so cool. I love that.
What a
Because
surprise, by the way, because you don't know
yes,
that's in there, and my kids did not know, and I didn't tell them, and they're like, you can see their face, like, what the fuck just happened? Like, we were literally like here, and then now we're like right here. What the hell? It was awesome.
yeah,
It was so cool.
No, it's great. And I have one critique with the Disneyland Railroad, and I don't know why they do this. It's not about the attraction itself; it's about the style of train. So why is it that there is
Yeah,
one of the
that's true.
trains you're facing outwards, which is I think should be the just
Yep.
what it is, face outwards. The other one you're facing like forward, like a regular passenger train.
Yep.
Like,
I knew you were gonna say that because I fucking agree. I hate that shit. Yeah. And you're missing
like
out on so much. And then not only that too, like moving backwards too for some people, like gets them sick. Like so if you're sitting like backwards, I
oh
don't know.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
in general, no, but all of those are straight, straightforward facing. So yeah, that's my number 5. What's your number 4?
Oh, number 4. All right, and I actually have to go check this out because I wasn't. No, I should have it, but my number 4 is Thunder Mountain.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, I Thunder Mountain has always just been so iconic. Tony Baxter, like with Indiana Jones or like Splash Mountain, right? He's such an incredible Imagineer, this guy. And with Thunder Mountain, dude, like here's the thing: you took because Frontierland has one, or I guess if you count, Mark Twain and the gun shooting range, but the actual ride of Thunder Mountain, right? You take that piece and you have one ride in there. It's very condensed, but there's a lot of layers to it, right?
Yep.
It takes place in the 1800s, so there's some story there. It's a runaway mine train, right? Also has like a locomotive like being on the part of the train on the front, which is really cool. Great sound effects. They of course added recently the past few years, which is like the smoke dynamite effect, right? And it's just a fun ride, dude. It's a great. I call it a great, probably perfect family coaster because it's not too slow, not too fast. It has that good middle ground fun for everybody of all ages. And of course, you have the beautiful beginning scene of like all the the rock work in the cavern with the beautiful rainbow pools, the waterfall. It's such a fun ride, dude, especially at nighttime. When you're going at night, it feels like it goes faster. You
It
know,
does. Yep.
yeah, it's so fun. And then I love at the end when you go down to like the T-Rex dinosaur bones, you make the splash, and then you're like by like all the old western like little shops. You hear like a little like piano going. It's
Yep.
just so cool. I think the ride is super well done. I think that's why everybody loves it, dude, because it's just a fun ride, man.
I agree, and that's why it's also my number 4. And
Oh,
yeah, yep, it was my number 4. Um, and mine has a little bit. I have like a little bit different reasoning why, but I kind of want to go off of what you said too. So the whole story behind it is that it was a cursed mountain during the 1800s that turned into a mine town, and then the train is a runaway mine train, like you said, or a mine cart, and then I think it was called Rainbow Ridge was the name of the town. And like you said, at the end, you can hear people doing things. It's like you're supposed to still have a town. Like it's so
yeah, yeah,
awesome. But what makes this number 4 on my list, which this is gonna be another video of my top. I'm gonna do top 10, probably top 10 cues. That's gonna be a video later on. But this cue line is in my top 10 because
Oh, okay.
you're not just walking around and to get to it, you're walking through the ride. Like the ride goes above you, it goes around you, you can see people having fun. There's multiple points of views that you can get to see this ride. And walking up, you get excited because of all that, everything you get to see. Because when you're like on Splash Mountain, old Splash Mountain, you walk on the outside, you see the drop. How
Yeah,
iconic is that drop? You want to ride that because you're like, oh shit, I want to see that. You don't get to see anything else. You don't know anything else about it. It's just that drop. Where on Big Thunder, you walk in and you get to see everything. You get to see the bones, the pools. You get to see the town. Like it's just really cool. And they have that whole little mining section in the middle. So I really
yes,
enjoyed that.
yes,
Another thing about this ride, which is fantastic too, is the amount of people this thing fucking eats. It is a people eater. You are
yeah.
running these big ass trains. There's 2 side loading sides, which is amazing. Always stick to your left, by the way. That's my little tip for everybody. Stick to your left. Um, I just think it's great. So the reason behind it for me is this was my son's first big kid roller coaster. And I got to do that with him. So it was a great dad bonding moment. And the cool part is that I'm not a small guy and he's a small kid. So he got to he got to actually smush me, which he found was funny. And it was cool because I got to actually like hear him and see him laugh and see him smile, and it's a different feeling, it's a different look that you normally get, because it's a thrilling look. And he was a little hesitant at first because waiting in line you get to see everything happen. And he's like, Dad, that's it. I'm like, yeah, that's what we're doing. And he's like, okay. And yeah, he loved it. So one of his favorite rides now. Another big thing, and you mentioned it, at night. If you time this thing perfectly, I've done it multiple times now where I've gotten to get on, and we're going when the fireworks are going off, and it
Yes.
is magical. Like you don't get a better ride to ride on at night with fireworks. It's picture perfect. Which I'll try to find some of those pictures. I actually have pictures of me on the ride, like taking a selfie with fireworks. So I'll try to find those. It's beautiful, and that's one of like the rides that before I had children that my wife and I tried to do at night before or during the fireworks.
That's so cool.
A lot of actual feelings go into this ride for me. And then on top of that, it's a great ride. Like you said, it's not too fast, not too slow. It's still thrilling enough. That first drop is fun. That dumb goat eating the fucking TNT, like stupid. Come on, don't do that, guy. And then the upgrades they keep doing, like they keep upgrading it. They retract it. They put that new scene with the explosions, which is like I would have never thought of doing that. And then he did it. I'm like, oh, this fucking works. Wait, like how does it not have that already? Like it needed that. So they did a great job. Classic ride. Once again, that whole land. I wish there was more to it. And I know we already talked about pirates and them getting them getting rid of the auction scene and the women chasing the men around and all that. How the fuck are we still able to have a gun gallery? How the fuck is the gun gallery still there? And you're worried about fucking pirates, a fictional pirate that's stealing bread from people, but you're okay with your fucking children picking up a rifle? Come on. There's something wrong here.
Because I'll tell you why. You feed Disney 50 cents every time you go shoot.
That's why. That is why. So until we start feeding someone 50 cents, it's going to keep happening. And then last little take, I know we're talking about rides, but the way that ride fits in with Rancho del Zocalo, the restaurant, it fits. It all intertwines so well. That land is really well done, and it has such a big footprint, but such a small area, if that makes sense. Like you don't realize how big that ride is, but how much of it you can actually navigate around. It's really, really smooth. I like it. So yeah, that's my number 4 too. Shit.
Oh, that's good. Oh, and also one thing to add on to Big Thunder as well is Disney always does amazing with like the lighting packages. Big Thunder, the mountain looks it's just beautiful at nighttime, dude.
I agree. Where do you sit? Do you choose a spot, or do you just get wherever they put you?
Usually I get wherever they put us, but sometimes I will request, is it row number 15? I believe the very, very back, like the very back, because that one, like when you go over the hill, dude, you're like still on the chain.
Yeah, you're like, and then you're gone.
It's so much fun.
People are screaming, like, why are you screaming still? You're like way up there. I agree. I always wait for the back. I always ask, like, hey, can I wait for the back? Oh yeah, sure, no problem. By the way, if you didn't know that, another Disney tip: if you ask to stand in to wait in line for another row, they'll do that for you. It might take a car, train or two, but they'll get you on one of those trains and get you the seat you want. You got to remember, you're paying for an experience, and these cast members want to make sure that you get the best experience at all times. So just ask, and if they say no, there's a reason behind their no. Usually, just ask. I did sit in the front with my son for the first time because he wanted to see the train up front. So I was like, okay, let's do that. So ever since that, then he was like, okay, Dad, we already did it. I can't see because you can't see shit. So we sat in the back now. Cool. But what's your number 3?
Oh, okay. So number 3 is actually
down the wire.
Down to the wire. Number 3 is going to be Rise of the Resistance.
Okay.
And I have it at number 3 because I have obviously other my last 2. But again, I'll explain here why. So I love Star Wars. I think a lot of people like Star Wars or love Star Wars. So despite it being the sequel era, I don't really care if that's the sequel era. I just care about it being a fun, amazing ride. And I love that in this ride we have current modern dark ride trackless technology, which is fantastic. When everything in this attraction is working, this thing is a banger, and that includes the big cannon guns that were broken for like 2 years, and they're finally back working. Because there's certain special effects in attractions that really make or break the attraction, right? Because they're there for a reason. But here's the thing: this ride isn't just a ride, though. It's a whole like attraction experience, right? You go through the queue, through like the Resistance Cave, all that stuff. You see their weaponry, the outfits, like the rebel, pilot outfits, and all that stuff, right? And then you get to the pre-show, and then I'm still amazed by the movement of BB-8 up there. I think that's fantastic. He's like rolling his ball. So I love BB-8. Of course, I think Poe Dameron is like my favorite character of the sequel trilogy. But of course, to the actor, I just like him as well. But you have the pre-show, the information, and then the doors open up. You go out. You got the big shuttle out there, right? You have Poe Dameron's, X-wing. I love X-wings, by the way. You got that out there. You have the music going. You get inside the shuttle, and then that itself is also like a second pre-show attraction, right? Go in there, like you look at all the windows, right, which are the screens, and they all sync up to each other, right? You have the front view, the back view, the top view, right? Everything, even to the point of detail. And this is where Disney does the Disney difference. It's in the details. When you get into the tractor beam, you get sucked into like the Star Destroyer. When you pass through like the shield, you see like the blue lighting go over your ship, and it's just all that fantastic stuff. And then you go into the open, hangar bay, right?
Yeah,
that is a massive. It's really it's like
God.
what
For something you just walk through too, which it's wild that you just walk through that like 5 seconds through it. I can't believe how big that is.
It's like go, get out, and you're like, yeah, I'm trying to look at all this stuff. It's so cool. And as someone who loves Star Wars, grew up watching Star Wars, again, I know it's a sequel trilogy, but it still has a lot of the same elements, right? The stormtroopers, the TIE fighters, all that stuff, right? Star Destroyers. And then you see the TIE fighters in the background, the Star Destroyers, dude, the troopers. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing. And like the whole thing feels like you're in really like the movie.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
You get there, dude, and then you get on the ride, right? You get on the ride, and that thing's just moving, right? Dun 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 dun, dun, and then you run to the probe droid, dude. It's just everything about the special effects, and the big thing is that this attraction has like multiple ride mechanisms, right?
Yeah.
So we got the awesome pre-show thing, but then you have a trackless dark ride. Then you also have a drop ride, basically.
Yeah.
Drop ride, and then you have a simulator portion of the ride.
Yep.
And I mean, tell me that you have those three things in one attraction. Tell me that's not cool. And then you have the Star Wars music playing, AT, like shooting like lasers at you, dude. It is just so awesome, man. And then like the part where you drops, boom, everybody screams. You're going through like going through space and everything. It's just everything from beginning to end is like an experience.
Yeah.
And but with that being said, though, while that is the case, it is not my number one, and I will explain why. So I love Star Wars, I do, but again, this is a dark ride, so for me, there is something else that trumps that kind of ride mechanism. But I do love this ride, though. It is awesome, and if I can go on it, I will always go on it. But the line's pretty much always long, so I try to wait if it like breaks down, opens back up, get back on.
Yeah. So I've been on it like 2 times, and I enjoyed it. And I'm gonna put this out there too. This is how you not get followers, by the way. This is how I'm gonna get no followers. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but if you guys know me, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan in general. I respect Star Wars. I understand why Star Wars is a thing. I understand why people like Star Wars. I'm a huge fan of audio and sound, and getting Dolby and all that and everything from Star Wars, from Lucas, like that was, or THX from Lucas, like that's really big. And the theme park needs that, not theme park, the movie industry needed Star Wars to be able to be what it is now. But once again, do I need a whole fucking Star Wars land? No, because it's not Star Wars land. That's where they fucked up, and I'll stand by that, and we'll talk about that in another episode. But will I ride that ride? Fuck yeah. Is that technology amazing? Hell yeah, it is. Like, I loved that ride. It was so good. And I got off like not even caring about Star Wars because I got to witness something I've never, three different things, like you said, that I've never got to do before in one time. Like, I did not expect anything. I didn't expect us to drop. Like, that was crazy. And then you move, dude, it felt so fucking cool. Like, you felt like you're flying. Like, it was so good. But my turn for my number 3. Okay, so this one's a different direction. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Ooh,
I
okay.
love Mr. Toad's, and I try to get on it every single time, and I never do because it's always such a long line. Or if there's no line, it's broken down. Or if it's not broken down, there's something going on there where you can't even get to the fucking ride, so it makes the line look like it's long. Everybody always congregates right in front of that fucking ride too. Like, they all sit there with their strollers. It's like, dude, just get the fuck out of the way. Like, I want to ride Mr. Toad. But I love the queue, the courtyard before you get in there. It's the only one with like an outside courtyard thing, like queue. It's the facade itself is the mansion. Like, it's just beautiful. You walk inside and it has all the little rock work in there, and then you see the cars coming up, and they look like his fucking Toad like mobile. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, okay. And then you get in and you jam through the library scene, and then you're basically like going on a wild ride, and then he tells you you're guilty, and then you get sent to hell. Like, come on, you get sent to hell. It's the only park that you get some demonic shit happening, or the only ride you get some demonic shit happening. But the story on it is so good because it literally follows the books and the show,
Yeah.
all the way from the front to the end. And it's not that long of a ride, but they also make it feel like it's kind of long. It just
Yeah.
paced really well, and it's a little scary for kids. I'll say the kids were a little bit like, "What the hell is going on, Dad?" But I don't know. There's something about it. I can't touch what it is, Webba, because I don't know why I'm always attracted to this ride. But it's just so like I have to ride it.
I
He
will tell
smells
you
good
why.
too. What?
I'll tell you why you're attracted to it. That soundtrack is banger.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Dude,
Yeah. That's true.
and I'll tell you this too. What I love about pretty much all of the Fantasyland kind of dark rides at Disneyland is their murals, dude. Their murals,
Oh,
like,
beautiful.
Mr. Toad, right? You have the huge mural, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic, bro. Fantastic.
Yeah. Dude, they all do. Dude, yeah, huh? Imagine having someone just come in and like, hey, we're going to. That's how they talk, by the way. Hey, we're going to paint a mural on your wall right here, and they just come in your house and just fucking paint that same mural. Like, dude, I would never wash my walls.
Dude, no, I'd be like, leave it forever.
Yeah, you could stay there. So yeah, that's my number 3. Like I said, I don't have too much to say on it just because it's a short ride, but there's just something about it that draws me in. Out of all the Fantasyland rides, that one just hits differently than all of them. There's no princess. You're not fucking flying like Peter Pan. And not only that, it's not a huge story. I could probably go down the street and talk to 10 people. Maybe 1 out of 10 know Mr. Toad or anything about the Willows.
And on top of that, it's the only attraction too that still has like 2D cardboard cutout like characters.
Yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh.
And I think that it's in it. I think that in itself makes it very unique because that kind of puts more into your imagination, right? You're going through. I mean, come on, there's a part with like a car, you almost crash into it, but it's like this kind of book fold out like mechanism thing, like going towards your car. But I really think that kind of gives you more of that imagination of like, oh, I'm really going through like the mansion. I'm going through like the street, going to get hit, going to the courthouse, going to get run over by the train. And then, of course, the part where you go to hell, basically, it's cool. I love that they still play like a more eerie version of like the theme, and then you see like a devil version of the judge in there, which is pretty cool. And then you got that cool sick like dragon thing at the end of it. I think it's dope. But yeah, fantastic ride. And also, Walt Disney World used to have it. 2 tracks.
Yeah.
They don't have it anymore.
Yeah, you're right. Another unique thing about the ride too is that you're Mr. Toad, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mistletoe.
where the other rides you're not. You're like looking at the characters. So if
Yeah,
you're like watching Snow White, you're going through Snow White's journey and watching stuff happen to Snow White. Where this one you're like Mr. Toad and going through what he's going through. And that's why he gets sent to jail and hell.
yes. I think that's what they were doing with Alice in Wonderland at first, because I think there's like
Yeah.
because I actually I think with like a lot of the dark rides, like Snow White at first and Alice in Wonderland, it was that the purpose was you are the character going through the
Yeah.
story. And I believe what I read was that people didn't want that. They wanted to kind of be like the kind of watcher, so to speak, and going through the adventure with the character, or through the event of the character and seeing the character, but not really being the character, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I don't think it would have worked as well with Mr. Toads if you did it that way. Where Snow White, it actually works out perfectly watching all that unfold.
yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, that's a great ride. I mean, again, like all the Fantasyland rides in Disneyland are pretty fantastic. So
Yeah, they're solid. What's your number 2, Webba?
ooh, number 2. Okay, this is gonna be a little controversial one. You ready?
Oh.
Okay. Okay, so the last one was Rise, right? This one, Hyperspace Mountain.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say fucking what's the other one? The Millennium Falcon ride. Smuggler's Run. I was about to come through my camera somehow. I would have figured it. I would have went full grudge on you. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me why. Dude, because that Hyperspace Mountain's kind of cheating. Kind of cheating. No, it's not. I'm gonna accept it, but it's kind of cheating. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, fine. How it says, if it wasn't Hyperspace Mountain, it would still be Space Mountain. So
fair enough. But we'll go Hyperspace Mountain.
Okay, so Hyperspace Mountain. So this is my favorite version of Space Mountain. Again, I love Star Wars, so I love the Star Wars aesthetic to it. Again, I know not everybody will like it because people love the just original flying through space. It's the originality, right? When you put an IP into it, it's not original anymore. I get that totally. I love both versions, but I love Star Wars. I think it enhances the experience for me. I love the idea when you're in the queue, right? You have Admiral Akbar, I think, is still there. He's giving you the talk whenever there's like a mission you go on and stuff. Trap. Yeah, and then as soon as your vehicle starts to leave the station, it's playing the Star Wars theme, right? Oh, that's so cool, dude. And then like when you're going up like each to like Lift Hill, you're hearing like the squadron like reporting in, oh well, this was like B5's reporting or whatever. You hear like all the characters talking. And then when you're going up the hill, you have like the light speed thing, which again doesn't make any sense because it's slow, but whatever. And then what I love about this part, you have like the TIE fighters come in, you have the Imperial March come on, and then as soon as you start to go down that track, it's like you are part of the fight of the dogfight happening. Yeah. And then you have that dun 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 dun, dun, right? And then you see like the X-Wings chasing the TIE fighters chasing the X-Wings. They're crashing and blowing up. It's so much fun, dude. And then the little part with the dip, when you go down that little dip there.
Yeah, yep.
Fire there.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's probably the best part of the ride. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so cool. So I feel like because of all the effects and feeling like you're actually in a dogfight, I feel like that for me it gives even a more sense of thrill, especially adding on with that John Williams music. It's so exciting, especially at the end, like when you're shooting like the Star Destroyer and then you go out into hyperspace again. Oh, it's so dope, dude. So dope.
Dude, I loved. Okay, so once again, not a Star Wars fan. That is my favorite version of it too. And I've ridden Ghost Galaxy, and I believe I've ridden the old one with like Aerosmith. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I believe I rode that at some point too. But in general, like the original always has a place in my heart. But that Hyperspace Mountain's the only one where I will like, fuck, I need to get back on that. I need to go on that again because you're right. It's so good and it makes sense. Like if you ever did a layover of anything that made sense, it's that fucking ride. They 100% nailed it. And it was all they did was add a couple fucking animations here. And like you always say, Mike, it's the fucking soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like dude, come on. And it doesn't miss. And it's not the same thing the whole time. It's literally them changing it up. There's different scenes, and there's different scenes without having different scenes. And the music is playing the scene for you.
No,
Fucking awesome.
it's fantastic, dude. Like again, I think Star Wars itself is just like a phenomenal, like imaginative idea. The IP is great, but then, like you said, it's such a perfect fit into hyperspace, into Space Mountain, right? It just makes sense.
Yeah.
It's space. You're in a dogfight with X-wings and TIE fighters in space. I mean, when I first wanted to, I was blown away. Every time when me and my wife go on it, she's always like, "Let's go again, let's go again, let's go again."
Yep.
I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're going on."
You know what I love about that ride too is the smell. There's a Space Mountain smell.
There is. Yes, you're right. Especially like for me, it's more so in like once you get to like the top deck of the loading station.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yep. And then you know what I like too? You start hearing that sound.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, I'm almost there. And you just know you're getting closer. I do love me some Space Mountain. It didn't. I'm just gonna tell you up front, it did not make my list. And this is one of those guys. Like, this is my top 5 that almost like if I was to take something away with me, I would do it. Am I gonna ride Space Mountain every single chance I can? Fuck it. That's one of the hardest rides to get on. I'm always gonna ride Space Mountain. I love it. All right. So for me, my next one, Pirates.
Oh, okay.
Pirates is my number 2. Yep.
Pirates. Why is that?
2. So Pirates was always my number 1 growing up. And then something else took over. Obviously, you'll see, which I think we all know about this point. And I think we have the same idea. We'll get into that. Pirates for me, it starts off with that weird ass queue. What a fucked up queue. Even now that they fixed it, it was the weirdest queue ever. And I remember as a kid reading the sign, and it says like 45 minutes, and I would just hate my life because I wanted to ride this ride. And then we would get in there in 15 minutes. It's like, the fuck just happened? That queue is the most deceiving queue you'll ever. It plays all the emotions with you. It's like a horrible ex-girlfriend breakup. It's like, hey, come try me out, and then you're like, okay, but it's gonna take me like 45 minutes to get there. And then you're like, no, it's not, champ. Get in here. So all that happens. The thing is that stick to your left there too. Now definitely stick to your left because I don't think they have that back little area anymore. But in general, walking up in the queue, right when you get in there, they have those beautiful trees, and then they have that water, the little water fountain, you know what I'm talking about, right there, and it has the crest on it, and you just know that, fuck, okay, this is real deal. And then right above it is Walt's little room that you can rent out if you have like Kim Kardashian money. And then you go inside, and right before those doors, right before you get to the fucking doors, you can feel that wind. There's like pirate wind that hits you, and then you get hit with the smell of just pirate water, and you just take a mad rip of that, like just a whole fucking line to the face, all you of pirate water. And guess what? It's on. You are done for. You are going to follow that all in. And then speaking of murals, they have the new murals painted on all the walls in there with like Jack Sparrow and everybody. And those are really well done too.
Yes. Sorry, Ken, real quick. I want to point out that, yes, I forgot to mention that. Yes. Those, I love those, that kind of artistic depiction of the characters, because even they still have the original ones, and I like how they give them like their names, and it's just very cool because for some reason that style, it's like, okay, this was like drawn in like this era. I don't know, it's something about it I really love, and it fits with like the paint on the wall and then the smell of pirates. I don't know, it feels like you're in Pirates of the Caribbean. I can't explain it, but anyway,
I love it. And then you get to see the people in the boats coming by, and then, like you said, the parrot sitting there on the island, and you're like, cool, I'm almost there. And then you look past them, and it's this bayou. You walk up, you see the people, you see the crowd over on the right side. You can't see what they're doing, like you don't know what they're doing over there on the other side. You get on your boat, then finally you go back and you see it's a restaurant, and then you just see people dining, and you can smell the food, and you're like, dude, I want to eat there. Like, that is fucking cool. How cool is that? You get to eat a meal in the dark during the day, right next to a fucking roller coaster or a fucking pirate ride. And then you like, dude, amazing. And then you keep going, and then you see her. Pretty sure it's Webba's uncle on the deck over there, just fucking, just hitting that harmonica with this gator over there. And then you get to the iconic, like just skeleton, and it tells you to watch your fucking step, dude, because you're about to go down some swallows. And then you drop, and those drops are gnarly. Those aren't like little baby drops. You're hitting some drops there. You get wet.
Yeah.
And then right when you get to the bottom, speaking of lighting packages, the lighting that they updated in there with like has all this like bluish kind of hues on the wall, the rock work, because all they're doing is they're trying to get you to the show building at that point. So you're just kind of going through this rock tunnel, but they made it really, really nice. And then you finally opens up and you have the skeleton with the sword, and then you start getting into the show scenes. And for me, like knowing the story and how it's basically going back to front, where they're skeletons moving into the human bodies. I love that. And I want to go back on what you said about having the original. I agree with you. There's nothing like having the original versus now, because the storyline doesn't make sense and it gets ruined. And I thought it was going to be cool seeing Jack Sparrow in there, which it still is. It's not bad. I think I was okay with them stopping with Jack Sparrow, because Jack Sparrow didn't take over anything. He was just added. Where what they did now is they took over things, and it made a big difference in the storyline.
Yeah, and also too, what I miss about the ending as well is I miss the ending when you had the gunfight going on, but then when you had the two pirates trying to lug up that huge sack of like gold, that was really cool. That was really cool. And like I said, the whole lighting package in like the caverns and everything, beautiful. Oh, music too. What I love about after you do the second drop, when you're in the caverns area, I don't know what it is, like that type of music piece when like
eerie.
It's eerie, but it's like the instrument is like glass or whatever, and they circle it, right? It's like that ding ding ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Oh, dude, it is so cool. I love it.
Yeah, you're right, because there's no words yet, and it's like a fuck. I know what you're talking about too. I don't know what that would be, but you're right. And it's unique because that's the only spot you hear that. And it's only for like a half a second, or not half a second, but like half a minute or so, and then you go into the scene where they start doing it. Even when you get to that part where the pirate, it goes on further than that, because when you see like the lightning with the like the scene with the lightning and all that, it starts kind of changing there too, and you start hearing like the sound effects from like the wind.
Yeah, because after the crashed pirate ship with the lightning and stuff like that, that's when you get into like the like the skeleton, the dead pirates, right? So they're drinking alcohol, and then that's when you started getting to the harpsichord of Pirates of the Caribbean,
like,
and then but and then it starts doing that. But yeah, no, it's again, it is a fantastic ride, and that's why it is on my top 5. And also, I love pirates. Pirates, just fucking cool concept. I like pirates.
One more thing, what makes this ride fucking awesome is they have a full-size pirate ship in here, and it shoots fucking cannonballs at you. Like, what the fuck, dude? You're like, it's a cannonball shooting at you from a fucking pirate ship, and Barbossa's up there like, hey, you fucker, I'm gonna get your ass. and you're like, what am I supposed to do? And I don't know what they did. Last time I went on it, they like turned everything up to 1,000. I was soaked when I got off that ride. The fucking cannonballs were shooting, like the water was going super high and splashing everybody. And I'm like, dude, this is amazing. And then you get to the singing. That soundtrack for the singing is just beautifully well done. Best loop in the park, in my opinion. I don't care when these animatronics were made. They're still like, they have this just crazy look to them that if you made them new, it wouldn't work. Like, they have to look how they look now. And like you said, with the female or the redhead, it makes a difference. She's too new.
But she's too new, and she's just ugly. I get it. She's supposed to be a pirate now, but it's like, but her face, even if you took the makeup off of the original one, her face is a totally different shape. It's like a totally different person. So it just doesn't work. And she's like, she's like, yo ho, and I'm like, what is this?
Hardy's like, that's weird. Why are you talking like that, lady?
I know, it just it's bad. It's bad. I don't like that at all.
And then the auctioneer, though, what so like such an advanced animatronic for the time, and still to this date still pretty advanced. I remember like seeing his fingers move and him like swinging, and he's big, he's not small, like he's a big dude, and he's like fucking talking, doing his thing. And I always wanted that medallion piece he was holding, it was like the ruby thing, like it's fucking awesome. But yeah, and then climbing up that hill at the end, and you can hear all the people eating, and you're coming back to real life. It's good. And I know you say you fall asleep in that ride, and it's funny because in my head I was like, fuck, I'd almost do too every time now. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting old, but after walking around all day, it's so easy and relaxing. The only thing is that I wish those boats, that's my one thing, I wish the boats were updated to newer style boats. I don't know why they haven't gotten newer boats on that. Something that doesn't get the whole back seat and your whole ass wet every single time, and something more comfortable, because I'm taller. It's hard to sit in those boats, especially when they try to fit 3 or 4 in a row. But
absolutely.
yeah, that's my number 2. So number 1, go for it.
Oh man. Okay, here we go. Indiana Jones.
There it is.
Indiana Jones. There it is. And I have a lot of reasons why for this one. Okay. Yes, it trumps Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, and the newest Rise of Resistance. Why does it? Because here's why. One, I would say I love Star Wars more than Indiana Jones. Yes. However, Indiana Jones is like right there. I love the character. I love the stories. I watched them over and over and over growing up. I mean, same with Star Wars. But what they did with Indiana Jones for this attraction was just like so perfect in terms of like, you take a character, right, who's a professor or a teacher. Also, he's an archaeologist, but not just any archaeologist, right? I mean, like, this guy fist fights, he bullwhips, he shoots guns, right? Shooting Nazis and everything. Yeah. And like, it's about like these kind of special magical like mythical artifacts, right?
Yeah.
And I love that they took a concept of, in the era of Indiana Jones, right, it revolves around a lot of military stuff like Nazis, right? Okay, what kind of vehicle do we use to take our guests on the adventure on? Oh, military style troop transport vehicles. That works. And then what's he doing? Oh, he's going through a new temple of the Forbidden Eye, where there is 3 gifts: earthly riches, fountain of youth, and future knowledge, right? By a god idol named Mara, right? So you have the story right there. And if you look into his eyes, big no, he sends you to doom, or he sets you on fire. I guess one of the two, right? So you have that right there. But then the way they
both, by the way.
Or both, yeah. You get sent to the doom, and then you get put on fire. What I loved was that this attraction too doesn't showcase like this cutesy theme. It's very realistic Indiana Jones, where like some of the statues and stuff and like depictions are like people being spiked to death, being curled up like snakes and everything, right? So it's very realistic Indiana Jones. The queue, amazing, right? I love like that kind of old, when you're outside in the queue, you have like that old type of like, old style radio station playing. You have that generator outside. That's like keeping like the lights on in the temple. The architecture of the temple itself, it gives you that illusion of like you go into the temple, it's so far in there. I love too, again, the mural. Once you walk into the temple, the right side, you have a human depiction, like human portrait of Mara, right? He's wearing a necklace of like the future knowledge thing. He has a fountain of youth, and I think he was like holding gold or something. But you go to the temple, it's very temple-y, right? You have a lot of rock work. You have like, again, statues, a statue of Mara. Again, a lot of detail put into this. And at one point when you look up, like shortly after that, it looks like you're underground, which is super, super cool. And then you go to like a little spike room. Again, a nod to Temple of Doom, right? The spikes. And you have the skulls there with spikes through them, right? So again, a very dangerous adventure. And then the room after that, Candid, I love it because you have, again, another, if you look up to the ceiling, it's like, it's kind of like a dome ceiling. It's like another mural of like Mara's like face. And
how beautiful is that?
Dude, That is dope, dude. That is so cool.
It's
And what I love,
massive.
it's massive. I love the way the architecture and the style they did it in. Looks like there was like an actual archaeological dig excavation in
Yes.
this. It's so cool, dude. And then you have the prop where you pull the thing, and like some guys talk at the bottom. You have the movie room. It's just a beautiful queue, right? So that's just the queue itself, right? Great sound, great storytelling, theming leading up to the attraction, to the adventure, right? This is Mara, who he is. These are the gifts you could potentially get, right? Then you go to the loading station, dude. It's like you got vines everywhere, like you're in an underground temple. I love the archway, like out of the loading station where it has like Mara with the blindfold on.
What? Yeah, yeah. The
Dude,
cloth.
that's the cloth is so cool. I love that Fella talks to you in the Jeep. Again, I love that some of the Jeeps are brown, some are green. It looks very rusted and old.
Yep.
And then again, what the attraction did, besides the new update to the Rat Room, I don't know if you've seen it yet, Kenneth, but
I
the new
have. Yeah,
update.
yeah.
So let's go with that version, right? You had an attraction where they took elements from the movies and put into the ride to make a new story. So you had the boulder, the bridge, the rats, the bugs, right? All of that stuff. Even lava. So you take all that and mix it in for your own story. That's amazing, dude. And then I love too, they use the King Cobra snake, because in Raiders, that was the one. I mean, he's
Yeah.
scared, but that was the one that was like, you know.
Yep.
So I love that the King Cobra snake was the kind of iconic snake for the attraction. Again, the detail that they use from the movies in this attraction is amazing. And recently they updated the effects, right, with the doors for Chamber of Destiny, the Rat Room, which is a lot better. However, despite this being my favorite attraction, okay, there is a couple flaws I have with this ride.
Okay.
The biggest one, and I hope to God that they fix this at some point. I don't ever see them doing it because it'd be too expensive. The Chamber of Destiny, which is, I would say, Indiana Jones is also the master of illusions for attractions, the master of illusions. That beginning scene is setting the stage for the rest of the adventure. When you have the Chamber of Destiny walls that don't work and you always go through the same middle door.
Oh, I agree.
That breaks that premise right there out the gate.
But
because
my thing is, if it's your first time riding it, which it's normally kind of, well, not at Disneyland. Disneyland is a local park, so I understand where you're coming from. But if it's your first time riding it, you're not going to know any better.
No, you won't. However, I would say most of the people are going to ride repeat. And, if you're there, you love the ride, you might go on. You will probably go on it again. And the point of having that mirror there in front, like at the loading station, is so you see people going through which door. But then when the wall moves, that mirror moves this way. So you can't see the illusion of the wall moving with the 5 doors to still be at the same door. And so then when you go through, it looks like you're going through a different door. That's the whole point, is that you're kind of choosing or going through a different Hall of Promise, which is the rooms are called Hall of Promise, for your gift, right? One like Kenan, I see you go through Early Riches, I go through Future Knowledge, right? Left, middle, right. And not having that effect there really breaks that immersion as people who understand that, right?
Yeah, there you go. Fair enough. Yep.
Yeah, and of course now, the Imagineers, they went back in with the new Rat Room, with the Chamber of Destiny. They added like the new special effects on the doors, which is a good compromise because in the age of digital technology, right? But it still doesn't hold up to the practicality of the wall moving effect.
Correct.
The other issue I've had with it was the Rat Room, but that got updated. So, and it's because the Rat Room was just like this hologram thing that never worked like 90% of the time.
No, the smoke thing was already, the cars run through that thing so fast that it doesn't allow enough time for it to show up either.
No, exactly. So, and the only other thing I have is actually with the vehicles themselves. I wish that they were updated. Like, I wish their computers were updated to like modern software, so that way they're more reliable. Because that writes down all the time. But other than that, dude, this ride, as in terms of taking an IP and inputting it into an attraction, is pretty much for me as perfect as you can get, dude. Like in terms of the vehicle, the music, the setting, the theming, the atmosphere, the characters, bro. Like 100% nailed this thing, dude. Like, and that's why for me, Indiana Jones is my number one attraction at Disneyland, or really ever.
There you go. Hell yeah. All right. So my number one, like we already talked about earlier, is Gadget's Go Coaster. I'm just playing. I'm
Oh, I was
just
like,
playing.
what?
Yeah, no. That's I was playing. No, it's Indy. Like, come the fuck on. It's named it all, dude. It starts off with the outside with that sign that's just sitting there, and you're like, whoa, what is this? Then you see the temple in the background, and the whole music in that land, walking through the whole thing, and then finally getting into the queue line and the music playing outside is so good. Like, it really just gets you pumped up. What I hate about it, this, 'cause I'm gonna go from the beginning. What I hate now is that they stop everybody outside, so you're queued up all in the outside wraparound. They don't let you in because of the fast pass stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of takes a little bit away from it. I loved being able to actually sit in there and look at things. Now you don't get to look inside the temple as much. Like, you have to kind of like rush through the beginning part. Um, but going into the temple, seeing all the hieroglyphics on the walls, and I still have a decoder, by the way. So remember the old AT&T, the decoders? So I have one of those. You can actually decode the stuff on the wall, which you can't because you have to fucking run through now. But getting into that main room, that chamber, like you said, where it has that big old like mural, and just I remember just being so just, who did this? Who built this? Who came up with this? Whose imagination can do this? And what money did this? Um, because it's just on another scale. It's not some tiny little thing that they're doing. This is a full scale ride.
Yeah.
So anyways, but yeah, just the little things here, like pulling that piece of string or the rope, and that person falls down, you kill them. Like come on, man, that's crazy. And then when the roof was working, that it comes down on top of you. Just those little things, those little details, just really gets you so pumped up for the wall or for the ride. And then walking down the pathway, you look at the floor, and there's certain pieces that you shouldn't step on because it's going to cause things to happen before you get into that room. So I
Yeah.
always try not to step on them. Like, even though I know nothing's going to happen, I'm trying not to step on them. And then loading. So this is probably my only thing I do not like. It's how you have to go up the loadings, so the stairs, and then over the top, and then down to the bottom. Because what happens is you end up getting onto the bottom there, or the little stairway on the other side, and then they need to fill people in. So every time I'm on there, we got single riders or a two, and then it's such a narrow space that people are trying to shove you against the wall for them to get down because there's two people or they're a party one. It kind of bugs me. Um, and then moving into the ride vehicle, that ride vehicle is state of the art, still is to this day. I do wish, like you said, they updated the computers. I don't know if it's still a thing, but I remember back in the day, each vehicle had its own ride, right? Basically.
So as far as I understand, each vehicle is programmed to basically have its own personality, so to speak. So every time you ride, each vehicle will react differently depending on the vehicle. Like it'll speed up, slow down, turn, or react to certain things differently than other vehicles.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's still a thing, because I mean, the last couple times I've been on it, it felt like the kind of same ride. But then there was this one time I went on, and it was at night, and I was with my wife, and we rode it, and we both got off and like, what the fuck just happened? It was,
Yeah,
I swear there was a switch where they went like this, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna fuck these people up tonight. Like, they're gonna get, like, we're gonna save Indy, because we were like whipping through turns. We didn't stop once. Sometimes you kind of slow down, stop. We didn't stop. The car moved the whole time at full speed. It was wild. Even through through like the bug section, we were flying through the bug. It was a trip, like to the point where we both said, "What the fuck happened?" And I was like, "Whoa." Um, so yeah, going through that, my whole thing with when you go across the bridge, I feel that's where sometimes things do get a little inconsistent. where you're going across the bridge. Sometimes there's just a laser beam, sometimes there's flames, sometimes there's nothing, sometimes you don't stop on the bridge, sometimes the smoke effects don't work from the snakes. So I would like to see more consistency with a lot of this stuff. But it also makes sure that you ride it multiple times to be able to kind of see everything, because you don't get to see everything at once.
Yeah, I think that's more attributed to not the vehicles themselves, but more just like the effects working. Because I've ridden this ride so many times, I notice when stuff is not, it doesn't happen when it's supposed to, and or doesn't happen on cue when the music hits a certain note. I'm like, oh, that didn't work, or this is supposed to happen and didn't. But which by the way, that bridge, like when you first leave the first like scene with Indiana Jones and you see the bridge, that whole bridge section, dude. That's one of the most impressive, like, besides rides.
Isn't that great?
Dude, like, how massive is that thing? You have a skeletal face version of, like, chipped away of Mara with the laser, right? And you have lava on the bottom, a huge bridge with, like, king cobra snakes that are, like, the attachments to it, dude. Like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then you go behind the skull, and it is so dope.
That demon thing in there, has that always been there? Because I felt like the last couple times I've ridden it, it was there, and I'm trying to go back as a kid. I'm like, I don't remember that fucking thing yelling at me when I was in there.
So that's the part when you're going behind the skull and it's on the ceiling. Yeah. You know that's always I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, people, but I believe that's supposed to be like Mara's spirit or something like that.
Did it always yell at you and show up like that?
Yep.
Fuck, I didn't remember that. Damn.
Yeah.
And then that one fucking cannon right when you get out of there, it pisses me off every time because it goes a boom and you're like, why? Where's it? Like, it makes zero sense to me why they're doing it, but I'll take it. And then you get into the room with the rat room, which I agree. The rat room is the rat room next.
It is next, yeah.
Rat room. One other thing that I wish they updated a little bit, but I kind of get it, is if there was a way to kind of redo the blow darts. Like, I would love for there to be something different there. Like, I like the blow darts, but like a newer type of technology to kind of make it more realistic.
See, there's another scene I would change first over that scene.
What scene?
So the scene with the bugs.
This.
So here's the thing. You know how, like, in Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, right? How you could feel like there was the effect of like you feeling the rats on you.
Yeah,
dude. If they were able to program that feeling into the seats of the vehicles when you go through the bug scene, that would make it so much better and creepier too. Because creepy things, no, thank you. But I think that would make it so much better, or even just give us more higher def versions of the bugs, right?
Yeah,
you know, like we could look more realistic. Maybe add a bit more of like actual physical bugs, or the light can shine on it or something. But I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, the thing with the dart scene is that we've seen it done better in Tokyo, right? Because it's like full on sculpted out thing. So maybe if they did that, but I know that'd be a lot of money, man. Anything with rock work would be a lot of money.
Yep. Yeah, and I agree with you. And then the boulder scene, dude. How fucking cool, man. I love that. And that whole technology behind that is so basic, and it works so well when it works.
And this is why I said Indiana Jones is the attraction that's a master of illusions, because the first in Chamber of Destiny, when the wall is working, that's a great illusion of you going through different doors. The boulder scene is another great illusion of a boulder coming straight towards you and you're backing up. Like it's done so masterfully, dude. Like this ride should be a master class on how to do amazing e-ticket attractions. Okay.
Yep. Have you ever been stuck on that ride? I got stuck at the boulder scene.
Dude, I wish I was stuck. Actually, I've always wished I was walked off of it, because I'm someone who's not
walked off.
Okay, so I've been walked off Pinocchio, and I've been walked off Roger Rabbit. But I've always wanted to be walked off Indiana Jones, because I love the behind the scenes stuff. Like, it doesn't break the magic for me at all. So I've always wanted to get on Indiana Jones and walk around like, oh, like what is this? But unfortunately, that never happened. But
I've been walked off on Splash Mountain.
Really?
The very top. Very top. And it was horrible and scary, and fuck that. So I'm not really afraid of heights. It's the fact of other people that are scared around you, that are not making the right choices, and then steep ass steps like this, and then the size of the steps are smaller than my foot, and then you have to go down, and then getting out of the boat or out of the log, it's like I had to throw my whole leg over, and I still couldn't touch a step. So they had to help me like reach and pull me out and over onto it, and hopefully I land on the step so I don't slip and fall 100 whatever feet down this fucking thing and tumble. And then you got to walk all behind it, which was really awesome. So it was worth it. I bashed my leg in super bad. I had this big ass bruise, and they end up giving us some free passes and stuff like that after you got off the ride, which was cool. But anyways, I love Indiana Jones. That is my favorite ride. It is a classic. I would not touch anything unless it was just to update those Jeeps so it would stay working. I love that they're adding all this stuff to it. I do agree with you with the illusion stuff because I used to ride it where knowing that what it was. But I will say this: I am happy we got the upgraded version though, like the actual like when you go through the chambers, that how it has the new illusions, because it's beautiful. Where before it was just kind of eh.
Yeah. Although I will say though, I don't mind like the special effects on the doors. The only thing I'm bothered by is this, where before they did the effects, when you would go through when you would go towards the door and then Mara would speak about what gift you're going to be going to, the colored eyes would, like, for future it'd be purple, for Fountain of Youth it'd be blue, for riches it'd be yellow, or right, it'd be yellow. It does that now, but it does like a quick flash thing. Before it was like it would go like gold, red, blue, and it would just stay like that color, right, until you went through. This time it just kind of does it really quickly and then it goes away. And I wish it would just stay on because it's more like it's alive, like he's talking. You know what I mean? And so I wish they would fix that, and I'd be pretty okay. I'd be good with it. You know?
Hell yeah. And it's a long ride too. It's not that short of a ride. I mean, that whole from front to back, like how long? You said that's like 20-30 minutes just to get down there, dude.
Yeah, I would say if you're talking about the attraction as a whole, from like beginning queue to like when you get off the ride, right?
Yeah.
You're looking probably like, well, the ride itself is probably like 4.5 to 5 minutes long. The queue itself, just walking down there, probably like 7 minutes, or something like that.
It's a hike.
Yeah, but that things like that. This attraction was worth it, and it's held up, and I hope this ride stays forever. Like if there's one ride I want to stay forever, it's this ride. Stay forever.
All right, Mike, give us your honorable mention.
Oh yes, honorable mention, Haunted Mansion. That's my honorable mention, and I say Haunted Mansion because again, it is another classic original attraction. Like how with Pirates, how I said I like pirates, right? With Haunted Mansion, I like ghosts. I am into the paranormal, and I'm also into the afterlife. I love that the Haunted Mansion is kind of a mix between a little bit silly Disney style, but also some creep factor, more so like in the beginning parts of the Haunted Mansion, right? Like the graveyard, the tombstones, you have the hanging corpse, and no escape from the room, and then you have the kind of darker elements of the Haunted Mansion, right? When you're going in there, it's dark, it's creepy, you have ghosts banging on the walls, trying to open doorknobs, the seance. Then from there, it slowly goes into the more kind of, from the ballroom and everything, right? It's kind of serious, but then after more so the attic, it gets to the more of that silliness factor, right?
Yep.
But again, it's a great long ride. I love that the capacity, constantly eats people. You have a great pre-show with the stretching room. I absolutely love the portraits on the wall. I wish I had those in my house. That would be awesome.
Dude,
Again, Paul Frees does an amazing job as the ghost host. Such an iconic voice.
Yep.
I love the hallway when you're walking. You have the lightning outside. You have the paintings or the portraits that are changing now with the lightning, right? And then it's just another fantastic ride that utilizes the lighting and the darkness to really give off the special effects.
What's your favorite scene?
Favorite scene. That's a good question. I would say mine is probably, well, I kind of have guess two. The whole part where you're on the balcony going towards like the ballroom scene,
Yeah.
like that portion. I especially love seeing like the two portraits of the ghosts with the guns like just shooting
The
each other.
duelers. Yeah. Yep. The dueling ghosts.
I, I,
Yeah, that's
I
so
love
good.
I love that. And then just like that kind of beginning portion after you get to the stairs and you have the long hallway, the infinite hallway.
With the
That
candle, the
yeah,
opera.
with the candle all the way before the seance room, because I love again that creepiness factor. You have the wallpaper that has like all the creepy ghosts on it. You
Yeah.
have like the grandfather clock with the claw. Ghosts are trying to open like the doors and banging on
Yeah.
stuff. So those two sections I actually really, really like. And again, I love the whole ride, but those two sections in particular I really like because I like more of that kind of creepy factor. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree with that. My favorite part of that ride is the part right before you go into the graveyard and you're laying backwards on your back. I've been stuck.
Oh,
Dude, I've been stuck there probably like 100 times, and I don't want the ride to continue. It feels so good. You're just sitting there. Uh, I love that scene with the dog and the caretaker. But you're right, man. It's just a classic ride, and it's really well done because they do mix both of those into it. The scary like scariness and also the whimsical fun factors. The thing is about that ride though is that it's starting to kind of show its like time a little bit more with some of the older like for some of the other rides like we could add more to this ride and people would be okay with it. I don't think this is one of those rides where if you do something, people are gonna be like, "Oh, why the fuck they're doing?" And they started doing that a little bit more here and there. They started kind of touching things up because think of it this way: every year they go and add Jack Skellington and Nightmare Before Christmas, and no one complains about that. And if they
well,
left it that way, we'd be okay.
honestly, in my opinion, as much as I do love Nightmare Before Christmas, I think it's up for too long.
Okay.
Because I know that they have it. I know that because Disney always starts Halloween like around like late August until like early November, right? Or no,
Yeah.
sorry, no, not Halloween, but like the holidays. For like Halloween to all the way to Christmas, right? It's like late August through like early January for like Nightmare for Christmas, Haunted Mansion
Yeah.
overlay. And I think for like half the year, that is too long, in my opinion,
Especially
for
for,
the
especially for people that don't come to the park very often. Then and sometimes people can only get those months off for work, so they never get to see the regular haunted mansion because they are coming to do that. So I do agree with you, but you got to remember how much work they actually put into that and putting all
oh no,
that stuff up.
yeah, no, it's great. And also, of course, remember too, Ken, we also just got the Hatbox Ghost, right? Which has been a
Oh, dude,
fan
so
favorite for a
good,
long time.
so
And
good.
Disneyland just got a redone queue, like extended queue that happened. And
Yeah.
that looks really nice. And then we got that Madame Leota little house thing, which was not impressive at all, but it's there. Like Disneyland, they are going through Disneyland and touching up on these attractions, especially as the park gets more crowded. They have to find way more creative ways to utilize the space.
Yep.
Because I mentioned the queue was always out like outside the queue, way going down New Orleans. So I think the new queue is really good. I like it how it's updated now, all the little stuff they have, like the new tree thing they have in there. I think it's really well done. But yeah, again, this is a classic, iconic attraction, and I always like to go on it, especially when it's hot outside, or again, it's raining. Not you're in the ride for like 12 minutes.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yeah. I do love that ride, and like I said, some of these they're rides I love. They just don't make my top 5. They make like my top 10 for sure. And
yeah,
I also didn't want to pick the biggest rides in the park because it's not all about that. And that's why my honorable mention is going to be the Storybook Canal. Um, I think that is so underrated and overlooked that people don't even know it's really there. And how do you even get into the queue? Because the queue is in a weird ass spot because it's literally at one of the most busiest pathways. So you kind of don't see it, and it's just a switchback, a basic ass switchback. But the way that ride intertwines with Casey Jr. is so cool. And it has all the little figurines or all the little houses. The person on the boat's talking to you about it the whole time, telling you everything. It has the pretty twinkly lights. You get to go into was it Monstro, which is fucking cool. and you don't know what the ride's about until you actually get on it and go through the whale. Like you don't know what it is, and then you get back there and you're like, oh, this is really cool. Going through the cave, Cave of Wonders, whatever, in the beginning, it's just really awesome, and it takes you down a little bit. It takes you down a notch of Fantasyland, and you're like, because you gotta remember too, Fantasyland has all the little storybook, like all the stories, right? All the different rides, and they can't fit all those in there. So this is how you get to hear more about the stories in short little bursts, and you don't have to worry about like, I don't know, just don't have to worry about anything on that ride. I feel like you're just free, and the cast members are so good.
See, I would say my preferred version of this attraction is the Casey train.
Okay, yeah,
because
and I love Casey.
Yeah, Casey's great. I love especially at nighttime. I guess both is at nighttime because you have all the lights on and all the sparkly effects, like on that way by Casey. But I just like being on the train. Woohoo! It's just going.
Yep.
It's fun, and then you get to ride around. Again, there's like this train like smell from like Casey Dream. I don't know what it is. It smells good, So
the only thing about that ride though is that fucking blue wall.
Which
you know what I'm talking about? The Dumbo wall. It's a blue wall with just says Dumbo on the back of it. I fucking hate that wall. It's so ugly. Change that shit. Change it. But yeah, I feel like both of those rides are underrated. People know they're there, but they don't know how to get to them, or they don't want to ride them because the lines are weird. And I think you really need to give them a chance, especially over Dumbo. I think Dumbo is no, and we're gonna do that too. So stay tuned, everybody. We're gonna do a least favorite 5 probably coming up too. Yeah, this channel is gonna go crazy. There's so much I want to talk about. We're gonna have so many different guests. Mike's probably gonna be a regular here with us, Mr.Webba. I'm just so excited for this, and Webba, thank you for joining me on my first ever episode of TheCandidCamper's.
Absolutely, TheCandidCamperr. Thank you so much for having me on. This was fantastic. I love talking theme parks, Disney, and especially with you. You're coming on here, giving your TheCandidCamperr thoughts, right? Exciting stuff, everyone. Subscribe to TheCandidCamperr. He's the man. And yeah, dude, I can't wait to come back on and talk about our least favorite or whatever, DCA, all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into it all. But let's get out of here. Let's go ahead and tell them where we can find you.
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter,
TikTok.
Well, all that. So Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at Mr.Webba91. You can also find me. I just started TikTok like literally like probably about like 2 hours ago. I believe it's at Mr._Webba91. I think it's that. Yeah. But anyways, my name is Mr. Webba on there. So look it up. You should see it. And TheCandidCamperr, where can they find you though, man?
Yes. Thank you, sir. Like I said, I'm gonna leave all his stuff in the comments below and in the little description section. You can find me right here on YouTube, TheCandidCamperr, or my new channel, which is right here, TheCandidCamperr. Like, why not? Theme Park Thoughts. Why not? Let's do it. Also, Bad Thoughts podcast on YouTube, which we're going to reboot coming up pretty soon. TheCandidCamperr on Instagram and TheCandidCamperr over on TikTok. I'm mostly on TikTok now, so you can see me doing a lot of lives. But this channel is going to be alive and going up here on YouTube. And then I do have a TikTok for this channel that I will post a lot of shorts on. So you won't see me doing anything like full on like 2 hours on there because it's TikTok. But you'll see a lot of shorts, and you'll see me going live every once in a while as TheCandidCamperr or TheCandidCamperr's Theme Park Thoughts, depending on the night, how I'm feeling. But I hope you enjoyed episode 1. Like I said, we have so much that we're going to go over in the next couple, like forever. And I want you guys to comment down below and let me know what your best part of this video was. Let us know what your top 5s are. And let us know if you disagree. That's the fun part about this one. This channel, you could tell me you hate something, and I'm not going to get mad about it because we have our own opinions. Did you know that? Did you know, Webba, that people can have their own opinions and it's okay to have your own opinions? That's crazy, the world we live in, that you can do that.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. I mean, it's always like crazy to me like people are like getting mad because other people have a different opinion. It's like, no, it's like if you think Indiana Jones is number 10 on your bottom list, let me know why.
I want to know. I think you're fucking crazy, but let me know why. Let me know why. And that's how I felt about your Pirates. But you made sense of it all, and I'm like, fuck, he's not right. He's not wrong. So Just let me know. And if you do, by the way, if you do like churros out there, go eat your fucking churro. As I like the giant turkey legs, and people hate on me for eating giant turkey legs. It is what it is. But this is the Candy Camper. This is his theme park thoughts. That's Mr. Webba, and we're gonna get out of here. Have a good night. Peace.